All right, so hello everybody, and thanks for joining us today and spending your valuable time. So we're going to get right to it. We're going to ponder the importance of our people, then the processes that they carry out to do business every day, and then of course the tools or the platforms that they might reluctantly be using to get all that work done. I have with me today Dan Moss. He is one of our highly experienced consultants in this area, and we've taken him away from work to talk a little bit about how he is seeing clients consider, or not, these three critical elements of any operation. So, Dan, welcome, and thanks so much for your time.
Oh, you're welcome, John. Glad to join you. John, you asked me to join and talk about what we call the golden triangle. But before I get into that, let me just give folks a little bit of background of who I am. So I've been working in the industry, mostly heavy industry, for about 44 years. Worked as a practitioner for approximately 30 years before I moved into a corporate consulting role in reliability and maintenance. And for the last 10 years, actually into my 11th year, working as an external consultant, helping clients in a variety of situations, variety of businesses and industries around this area of people, processes, and the technology that they use. We call it the golden triangle. So I'm glad to be here and talking with you and your listeners.
Great. Well, thanks a lot, Dan. I appreciate that. All right. So yeah, thanks for setting that stage for us. So let's start out with a question. Talk about the degree that companies are considering these three elements, of course, people, processes, and platforms. Are they mostly balanced, or is there, an emphasis that you encounter over and over again? Kind of, talk a little bit about that.
Sure. So the question about balance is a good one. The majority of the folks that call us as a external consulting firm is really, they don't call us because we're doing great, we want you to come pat us on the back. They call us because they're having issues. And balance is really typically not what we find. We usually find that one area or the other is more mature, more in place than the other two. But in all cases, what we find is typically a fairly low maturity. So let me talk about those three real quickly and just make sure that your listeners understand what we're talking about. When we talk about processes, that is the commonly understood way of doing business. How do we do maintenance? How do we run our storerooms? How do we identify the main areas that need our focus for reliability activities? So that's the processes. The people are obviously all of the persons that need to understand these processes and be able to do them in a common way, a way that works together and in sync, gives the greatest effectiveness and efficiency. And finally, that platform or technology piece is the tool we use. Really, it forms that repository of information that enables the people to do the work, make good business decisions, and improve over time. So those are the three: people, processes, and technology or platform.
Absolutely. Yeah, great. Thanks, Dan. Yeah, so we always have to, keep that big picture in mind. Even when we kind of get down into the weeds, with any particular solution, you always have to, come back up for air to see what's really going on. Okay,
Sure.
so my next question here, I want to drill into processes a bit more. What's perhaps like the most common situation that a client finds themselves in when it comes to their processes, if you will?
Okay. Good. So processes really is the primary area that I've worked in for the last several years, is helping plants put in place the best work practices, the best work processes. Now, what the processes are is that commonly understood way of how we work together. And what we find is most plants have evolved over time a way of doing business that isn't necessarily aligned with the most efficient or the best way to do business. I had a sixth grade teacher who asked us, so who believes that practice makes perfect? Of course, I, along with most of my classmates, raised our hands. Oh, yes, practice makes perfect. And she corrected us. She said, no, practice makes permanent. If you practice incorrectly or if you practice doing things the wrong way, you're going to develop habits that are very hard to break. And that actually is what we find most of the time, John.
Right.
So
Mm.
we come in with the best practices. And let me pause just a second. Since around the end of World War II, there is so much information and data available that the gravitation of industry has been towards a commonly understood group of best practices. And that's what I'm speaking of when I say the best practices or the work processes that are the best work processes.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I think we've all developed muscle memory in some way, and an organization is no different. We just this is how we do it, and this is what we think is the best way, and then that ends up just no longer being true. Yeah,
That's
and
right.
as
And what we
things
find
change.
is that most folks have some things that are good,
Hmm.
but they have others that are limiting their, particularly in the areas of being efficient with the activities and the work that they do. That's where the greatest impact often comes in if you're not aligned with the best work practices.
Right, right. That's really critical because businesses are functioning. Stuff is coming off the end of the production line and being shipped and purchased by customers. So we're not a complete failure. Um,
Right.
but there are things that we can suss out that can make us, far more efficient than we actually are. So, all right, great.
Absolutely.
So, next question is about people. We don't want to forget about people. What are some of the methods and techniques that you've used to help people, get it, right?
Right. So obviously, the people have to understand the work processes and be aligned on those work processes. Now, I'm going to tell you a lot of what we see has been based upon the competency of persons that have a relatively deep experience. As we're going into plants nowadays,
Mm.
what we are finding, particularly since COVID, is a tremendous loss of experience.
Mm.
There's actually a term for it, the silver tsunami of
Yeah.
retirements that are hitting as the baby boomers, and I'm kind of towards the end of the baby boomer generation.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
as we retire out, what follows typically isn't somebody who's got 2 or 3 years less experience. It's somebody who follows who has 20, 30 years less experience.
Mm. Mm.
An advantage of that is there's typically a lot of energy, a lot of technical competency with computers. What lacks, though, if you don't have the processes and you don't have strong training to rapidly bring these people up to speed, is a significant gap in understanding what to do, how to do it. Um, in a lot of cases, plants that have performed well, resting on the competency of their team, see a significant drop in performance as they have those retirements hit. And that is, in fact, very common. We're seeing 40 and 50% turnover in the last 3 or 4 years and a lot of plants we go into.
Right, right. Yeah, no, no, definitely. I've experienced that as well. And it's always interesting, doing some troubleshooting or such, and now folks reach for their phone and look for a YouTube video on how to solve the problem. And
Right.
most of the time, the solution's out there, right? So
There's
make
something out there, but it used
yeah,
to be somebody knew and went there immediately. Now
yeah,
you got to go search for it,
right.
which is probably a good segue into the last topic, but I'll let you pose the question.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, fourth question is let's talk about the platform, the technology that might be in place. So how have you prepared the client to take what they've done with their people and processes and then apply those changes to their CMMS or their enterprise asset management platform or solution that they have.
Okay. So we actually talk about that third leg, the technology or the platform, as being just as vital as the other two. Mm-hmm. And you really are looking at enabling the people to be able to use that tool, the EAM system or CMMS, to the maximum. And really, it is a, you mentioned YouTube a minute ago to find the information. If we utilize our EAM system well, we are populating it with information that people coming after us will be able to use. We have this term when we talk to our clients about making better business decision makers throughout the organization. One of the key ways you do that is you have utilized your EAM system, putting in data. Data can be good bills of material, good PMs, feedback from your work orders that you complete that now goes and gives you work history that they can then plumb. They can then go and data mine as they are trying to either make repairs, make decisions on capital expense. So we're training them the work processes, make sure you are populating with data, and then leverage that coming out of your EAM system in terms of KPIs that are like those critical things that your doctor checks when you go in for a checkup, your annual exam. Those are your KPIs. Then there's detailed reports you can pull. Those are getting more discrete and enabling you to really understand where do we need to focus energy, effort. One quick story, as a practitioner, I had a group of young maintenance persons, and we just explained that the right way to use the CMMS was you always put your information in. And then whenever you're called to a quote emergency work, you go look in your CMMS first. And it was such a benefit to the technicians. Troubleshooting greatly sped up. The time to repair greatly reduced because they had information that they had built over time. They were able to leverage to make quick, accurate, safe repairs. So It's really all three of those coming together, and the technology, the tool, the platform is a key repository for that information.
Yeah, no, great point. I really like what you said as far as decision making goes. We always kind of assume that the decision making process, the decision makers are always in the mid to upper levels of the company. But like you said, decision making is made at all levels in the organization. And the platform, the technology, your method of collecting data should really support decision making, not only Absolutely. At the top, but down the folks that are getting the work done too. So, okay, great. All right, so Dan, let's kind of wrap this up a little bit. And as Dan has said, the golden triangle requires a client to be more adept at each side, lacking none, of course. And most clients seem to be good at one, but they're probably kind of struggling with the other two, or maybe one of the three. So, Dan, anything you kind of want to add to sort of wrap us up here a little bit?
Yeah, just want your audience to know what we're talking about here. There is a time element involved in making sure that you're mature in all three. And that really is the key. We have clients who have progressed in this, but it takes some time to get the work processes in. You're really talking about organizational change management in most cases.
Right.
But you need to have those work processes in place. You want to train the people, train them in the processes, but train them in utilizing the tool and enabling them to make sure that what you just described around the EAM platform hey, we're putting that data in, we're utilizing that data, we're extracting the right reports, we're course correcting as we need. Um, we have seen a tendency when we're called in of folks to focus upon one or the other of those three legs and think that's going to provide the results. The reality is, you asked the question about balance at the beginning. That is the key. You have to be balanced and mature across all things to get the real results of efficiency, of effectiveness, of doing what your business, your industry is there for. You've got to have all three of those in place. So
Right.
that's it.
Absolutely. Well, there you go. Yep. Sage advice. So Dan, thanks so much for your time. Always a pleasure to talk to you, and we'll certainly be talking to you again on different topics and such. So, all
Thanks,
right.
John.
So, yeah, you betcha. So, folks, those of you that are not on the screen, make contact with us at the TRM group. If any of the situations that Dan has talked about has resonated with you or your team, and simply taking the time out of your week to have these kinds of discussions can be very valuable. So thanks again, Dan. Thanks everyone for attending, and enjoy the rest of your day.